When we talk about psoriasis, it is mainly a disease of a skin, though it involves many other systems, especially arthritis. Like psoriatic arthritis is also very common, and it can also involve some cardiac or renal or other tissues. Psoriasis is mainly a disease of a skin. So, for cure of psoriasis and for management of psoriasis, we have to know detailed anatomy, detailed structure of our skin. Our skin is very wonderful organ which protects our body from microorganisms, from pathogens, from any invasions, as well as it protects from loss of water from our body. I will explain structure of a skin, and afterwards I will explain how that structure is related with psoriasis and how to manage or how to treat the psoriasis in relation to structure of the skin. So our skin is divided into two separate distinct layers. Upper layer or the layer which is near to exterior is called as epidermis. Epi means above and dermis means the layer below. So dermis lies below and epidermis lies above in the structure. Normal epidermis is very thin compared to dermis, and it has 5 layers in it. So today I will go through those layers, and in next lecture I will explain how those layers are related with diagnosis and development of psoriasis. The base layer or lowermost layer of the epidermis is called stratum basal or base layer. Strata is a layer, it is another name for layer. So, stratum basal or base layer is the layer of cells, and this base layer is responsible for generation of cells in all the layers top of it. So this base layer generates cells. The cells from the base layer divide and they eventually go up and up and up till final layer of stratum corneum. So this base layer is producing all other cells in epidermis. That is why this is very important layer of epidermis. The cells are melanocytes which contain melanin pigment and which gives color to our skin also lies in this basal layer. The layer above basal is called stratum spongiosum. These are a cuboid type of cells, and when we do preparation for histology, that is looking at the section of skin under microscope, due to effects of alcohol in the preparation solution, they get shrink, and they are also called as prickle cells because they show spines in the preparation, but in our body they are cuboid structures and they have some thickness like 7 to 8 layers of cells lie in this stratum spongiosum. The layer above or top of that layer is called granular layer or stratum granularis. So these cells are around 3 to 4 cell layer thick, and these cells contain granules which are keratin and other materials in it. The layer on top of it is called stratum lucid. Lucid means it is a clear. So this layer, that is stratum lucid, doesn't appear everywhere. It appears mostly in sole and palm skin, and doesn't it is like very thin layer around 1 to 2 cells thick, and it is very rare to see this layer in common preparations of a skin. And most important layer when we think of psoriasis is our topmost layer. It is called as stratum corneum. It contains corneocytes, and as these cells go up and up and up, eventually they get flattened and they get converted into keratinocytes. These are dead cells, but don't get fooled by thinking that dead cells are useless. Even after dying, even if this layer is comprised of dead cells, they have lot of function to do in our skin. So this layer of epidermis, comprising of 4 to 5 layers in total, is very important when we look at psoriasis, because in psoriasis almost all these layers change dramatically. In psoriasis we get redness, that is erythema, we get swelling, we get thickening of the skin, and we get scaling or fine white powder on top of those lesions. So all these changes we see in psoriasis are due to changes in the layers of this epidermis. Dermis is also important, which is lower level from the epidermis, which contain lot of blood vessels, nerve endings, glands, like a sweat gland. So dermis is important, but when we consider psoriasis, most of the changes occur in epidermis. So this layer of epidermis is very important when we consider psoriasis. And in next lecture, I will explain all the changes we see in layer of epidermis, which we see in psoriasis. I conduct a program which is online for cure of psoriasis. There is no requirement of any medication, any injections, any tablets, and no expenses or no cost of medication whatsoever in this program. You do not require any medications to get cure of psoriasis. If you want to see details and enroll into the program, visit my website karmarkarwellness.com.